Hi, I'm Bob Kennedy with Athletic Annex. I'm here today with John Grant from St. Vincent Sports Performance. John's going to show us some exercises, not only improve our flexibility, but to help us prevent some of these injuries that we get as we start our spring training up. So as wintertime sets in and we're running on the treadmills and we're getting out there in the cold weather, let's think about some of these exercises and strengthening exercises to help us be prepared for spring training as it quickly approaches.
Okay, first thing I'm going to show you today is a hip flexor stretch to stretch out the front of your hip. What we're going to do is we're going to have Bob facing that way, one foot in front of the other. So he'll put one foot up high, keep his shoulder over his hip over his knee. Then what I'm going to have him do is place his thumbs on the front hip bone. Then what Bob's going to do for me is called a pelvic tilt. He's going to tilt his hip. He's going to squeeze his glute, and he's going to barely go forward, and we're going to get this stretched out. He's going to hold that for about 20 to 30 seconds. We're going to do 2 to 3 reps of that, but the key to this is he's squeezing through his glute, forcing that hip to go straight forward, feeling a stretch right through here. This exercise that I'm showing you is called a glute set. One of the most important muscles we have when we run is our glutes. They're the big prime mover for us that actually pull our leg backwards. Real common for runners, especially after running on a treadmill, is the glute doesn't fire. We overuse our hamstring, we overuse our calves, and that leads into Achilles tendonitis, shin splints, hamstring issues. So a real simple exercise to begin with is a glute set. And what I tell my patients is we're going to put a pencil between your butt cheeks. You're going to squeeze your glutes. So I'm going to have Bob go ahead and squeeze by pushing my finger out of here. And you should see this elevate like that. And then he can relax. And then he's going to squeeze, push that out. There we go. He's doing both sides. The key to this, I do not want you using your hamstring when you fire your glute. I have people do this about a 5-second hold. We do about 10 reps. Anytime before you exercise. If you're on a treadmill, I'd like you to do it as well when you get off the treadmill. Second part to this exercise, because when we run, we can't fire both glutes at the same time, you're going to alternate sides. So what I'm going to ask Bob to do now is to fire his left glute without firing his right glute. He pushes that out, and then relax. Then push the other side out, and then let it relax, and push in, push out. There we go. And then push this side out and alternate. Again, about a 5-second hold, maybe 10 to each side on that, and that should get you through to getting those glutes firing. For this installment, we're going to do one of my favorite exercises for runners. It's called a bridge. The way we're going to do this, we're going to get multiple muscle groups working at the same time. You're going to be flat, knees bent, have your feet pulled up in the air. Then what we're going to do is bridge up. But when you bridge up, a couple of tips here. You need to fire your low abs. So if we have your belly button here, all your low abs below the belly button should be tight. And as you lift, you need to squeeze through the glutes. You're squeezing hard through the glute. Belly should be tight. We got the feet up, so now we're getting some hamstring activation. We're getting the glutes to fire well, and now we're getting the low abs nice and tight. Again, maybe a 5-second hold. You can go up to 10-second hold. Then it's all the way down. You can relax. And we repeat that 10 to 20 times. Okay, this exercise seems real simple. It's just a simple balance. We're going to add 2 phases to this. One is a basic start. The other piece will be more complex, more specific for running. One of the problems we see with runners is when they're moving and you go through a gait analysis is that this glute doesn't fire very well as we move. The leg drops in, we pronate a little too much. So what we're going to teach you is to stay nice and level, nice and balanced, so when you're running, we keep you in great alignment. This is going to help take pressure off the IT band, the knee, even down into the ankle. So what I'm going to ask Bob to do is to make like the Karate Kid. He's going to just stand on one foot, arms out. What I want here is on the foot, big toe, little toe, heel, all 3 of those positions, you're going to have equal force on each of those spots as he balances. The goal is 20 seconds, and he'll start with that. And again, you can see his ankle working really hard to maintain the 3 points of contact. Once you can get up to about a minute, we'll start with 20 seconds. Your goal is to be able to do a full minute. Then we're gonna go to phase 2 of this, which will be this. Bob's gonna bring one leg up. He's gonna drive it up a little bit higher, foot towards him. He's gonna get into a runner's position. Then what I'm gonna have him do is he's gonna bend down and move those arms. There we go. Maintaining big toe, little toe, heel as he does this. And you can see not as easy as what it looks like. Driving forward, good running position with this.
You can feel that down in my ankle and calf a lot.
We're shooting for a minute. Start with 20 seconds, work your way to a minute of this one.
John, thanks so much for showing us those exercises, those preventative exercises to help us be healthier when we run. A couple questions for you. How often should we do these? Before or after running? Those kinds of things.
With these exercises, I'm really not adamant, but I strongly suggest doing them prior to running. The other thing, if you are on the treadmill, especially early in the training program where it's a little icy or snowy outside and you haven't decided to layer up and do everything they've told you to do at the store, I'd like to see you do these before and after you get on the treadmill. With the treadmill doing all the work, it really shuts us down backside, glutes don't fire, we become very hamstring, calf dominated because of that. Then when you transition off of that in the, later in this spring, run into a lot of problems. So treadmill before and after, you're going out on a nice Saturday morning run out of the store, I'd suggest doing them before you run. Get those muscles working, especially in the morning when they've been shut off for a while. I think that'll do you the most good.
That's great. That's great. Our goal is to help you be healthy and achieve your running and walking goals. This 5 or 10 minutes of exercises before you run could be a big part of that. So take this information. If you have any questions, you can come into the store and ask us. We can get you in touch with John if you have other questions or want to come up to St. Vincent Sports Performance and work with them a little bit more extensively. But good luck and see you soon.